test if it is correct. You can correct data, do a research, and find if that explanation is correct all the time. That's why sometimes people can disapprove a theory. Pythagoras theorem. I don't know whether you can prove it or find problems with it. Just says that this is true. This explanation is true. And if it's always true, it becomes a theory. So these rewards, this explanation that you are being rewarded for working very hard, running this business is hard work. So you must be rewarded. This thing of you thinking through to make sure that the business produces things and sells things, and you must, at the end of the day, be rewarded. So one explanation for the existence of profit is that you are being rewarded for your hard work. Others say, okay, everybody can work hard, but a few might actually make profit, not all. The biggest reward is because you have taken a risk. So risk taking is what is being rewarded. Because businesses is a matter of taking risks. You lose or you make profit. You can lose all your money. So you are taking a risk. Others will say, okay, so now I've explained I have given two explanations. One explanation is that you are being rewarded for your hard work. The second explanation is that you are taking a risk. And you are being rewarded for taking a risk. Third is the issue of uncertainty. Businesses are very uncertain. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So for example, if you are in a farming business, you say, okay, I'm gonna rent some land and plant something and make money, make a profit. Well, are you sure that when you are going out there, the rains will come? So you plant hoping rains will come. You make ridges in your garden hoping that rains will come. Supposing the whole year no rains, and yet you have already spent money on renting and making ridges. There are uncertainties. So these uncertainties are not the same as risks. So you should differentiate them. That we are trying to separate uncertainties from risks, because they are not the same. Some people say, you make profit because you are innovative. You think outside the box, and come up with new ways, new things of doing things. So somebody can say that you always make ridges for you to grow soil. And you are also hoping the rains will come. You are taking a risk, there are uncertainties there. But you bring in some innovation, you bring in good ideas into growing of soil. So you say, okay, supposing rains don't come, or they come not in sufficient quantities, I will try to make sure I do it in a different way from what others do. So, for example, you say, okay, I will not make ridges. Nikapanga makambo. I don't know whether that is Chichewa. You will dig some holes in between the odd ridges. Makambo. Maeja. Makambo. Chitunga timati makambo. But Maenje, Maenje can take you. Can you put a face? Yeah, you have got it. So, my ridges, the odd ridges. So, in between, you just make mapan and plant your soil. Okay? So the moisture retention will be higher than the mama ridges. So suppose if you see number, my idea, you might actually have something, unlike those who were planting on top of ridges, because your plants were in the trough, in between the ridges, and there was very insufficient rain. But your innovation, you didn't go the conventional way. You thought of a new idea, a different idea, and for you might actually be lucky and make profit that year. You have made profit because of your innovative ideas. That's innovation. Sometimes people are rewarded for being innovative. Okay? So those are just ideas, some explanations. And you can see that from these explanations came from people who explained it in writing. You know, in the academic world, it becomes so difficult to say something without saying who said it. Something which is so simple, you have to say according to so and so. So we tend to attribute these explanations to somebody who first wrote about it. Even if it was something that everybody else knew. But who was first to put it in writing and say, okay, these are the explanations. So you find some of the explanations which are straightforward, but because somebody said it first publicly in an academic paper, then everybody else will attribute that explanation to that person. So these explanations for why profit is justified, you will find that they are also attributed to certain individuals. So when you are looking at theories of profit, you will see that we tend to attribute these explanations to particular individuals. So the first theory, entrepreneurship compensation. This is, as I said, what we already have explained about rewarding somebody for the work that they have done. So compensation is basically reward. If you go out reading, you will be told who came up with that theory. Okay? Number 2 is the theory of risk and uncertainty. We are saying people take risks and uncertainty. When you do this, you will make money. When you do this, you will make profits. Some people have said, come on, it's not all the risks that and uncertainties that entrepreneurs make, these businesses make or undertake, because zinazi amakatenga insurance zaboza kuti people make money because they take risks. Because and when we change, they take a risk and then go and find an insurance company. So, for example, you can go and grow soy on a large acreage and go to Nico and buy insurance. And even before Jabo, they buy an insurance to cover them. The insurance company will pay. You also because so don't tell me that people make profit because they are able to take a risk or uncertainties. These are criticisms. Okay? So we are talking about, because of that, we are talking about these risks which are uninsurable. You can't insure. Insurable risks and uncertainties. Uninsurable risks are those where you cannot forecast, and therefore it cannot be insured. You know, these companies which provide insurances are very clever. They have experts who do a lot of forecasting. So when they say, okay, you you are applying to insure your car, they make calculations of how many people make accidents in a year. And they will estimate ngozi in terms of type of cars, type of drivers, what kind of weather conditions. They have all this data. So when they come up with a figure, they will know that if so many people pay and so many people make accidents and claim, they will still have a profit. So they are not stupid. So when they are insuring your car, just know that they are trying to make money. Because they know there will be 1 million people who are insuring, but maybe only 1,000 will claim. So the claim of these 1,000 people will be far much less than the total contribution of premiums from 1 million people. But there are certain things they will not accept to insure. So for example, they never accept to insure if your car gets damaged during riots or demonstrations. Sorry, and when you are buying the insurance, they tell you that we can pay when you get involved in an accident, if your car gets damaged, but not when it gets damaged by just a flooding or storm. Babura chimpepo chambiri chakwesa mitengo chakwera pakamuno pirano. But natural catastrophes, or there have been political violence or demonstrations, they specifically indicate them because they know that can bring their companies down. Innovation, we have already talked about theory of innovation. And then, if you are not in a perfect market, some people say profits can arise because of your market power. When there is a market imperfection, the market is not perfect, imperfect. What do we understand by a market being imperfect? A perfect market, as we said, nobody has power to set prices. Supposing you have a market where somebody has a power to charge what they want, that market is not perfect. It is imperfect. It's a market failure. You have people who have got power, like in a monopoly or oligopoly. The producers and the sellers have power. Monopoly is one producer. Oligopoly, just a few producers. Producer or seller, if it's only one, it's a monopoly. 3 or 4, just a couple, it's oligopoly. And if you have only one buyer, remember, perfect market is many buyers, many sellers. If there's only one seller, it's a monopoly. Oligopoly, just a few sellers or producers, doesn't matter. Sellers and producers are the same. But on the demand side, if there's only one buyer. We call that monopoly. If the buyer is just one and you are many sellers, no mukagulisa kwa mtu mmoja azinyanda sichocho ani kulo kugulani kumamje kwako ngati mukufuna mukupita and you have nowhere else to save. So that guy has the power. So if they have power, they will make profits. Because they can charge whatever. They can manipulate P. That P we had there. They can manipulate Q and P together for their revenues. They will not be very worried about total costs. They manipulate total revenue because they have the power to control P and Q. Remember, in a perfect market, you have no power to control P. You have only power to control Q on the revenue side. And then you have another opportunity on the TC side. That's what we say. Okay? So for today, we'll end there and hopefully next week we'll finish on this. This will be the last topic to cover. And those who are doing BBA, this is an opportunity for a basic background. Because I know you'll be taking managerial economics with me later when you are in second year. Okay? And these are the things that we will dwell on a lot. So this is an introduction to you. You'll find life easier when you'll be doing managerial economics. Okay? Every business person practices economics, even if they don't know. We all practice economics. Economics is like politics. You cannot have politics without economics. You cannot have economics without politics. They go hand in hand. And it's about human life. Okay? That's why even if you don't vote, you get affected. Civic and choice. You don't have a choice because it's everyday life. There is not any single voter now. So it means you have made a decision for others to decide for you. That's the decision you have made. It is opposite life. So economics, you make it every day. In uso, you practice economics. Lero mazifusa